In 1976, Congress took away any semblance of law or justice left within our court system. Would they do that? Of course they would. All law today is now construed, constructed, and made up by the judge as it happens before our very eyes. Yep. Common law has almost disappeared from the courts. They took away any control or authority we might have had over the court system. This has been very well hidden from all of us. The they that is being referred to throughout these documents is referring to the bankers, the guys at the top. It's all their deal. Okay. Many of us going into court often wonder why and how the courts can simply override the laws we put into our paperwork. It's very simple now that we know how they do it. They operate on the words construe and construct. A simple word such as in, changed to at, as in at law or in law, has a totally separate meaning. For example, if you're in the river, you are wet, you can swim, etc. But if you're at the river, you might enjoy a refreshing picnic or play baseball or run races. See the difference a simple word can make. And the attorneys often change this word when they answer your motions, in addition to many others. It will pay you in, bottom line, it will pay you in dividends to read the answers of attorneys to your paperwork. Compare what they say, the case law says, to the actual case law itself. You'll discover that they have actually changed the words therein. This is illegal. You might say, yeah, it is. Yeah, you might say it's illegal. No, not according to the US code, capital US. Okay. You see, they can now construe and construct any law or statute to mean whatever they decide it means for their benefit. You don't know any of this. You think they are railroading you in a kangaroo court. No, they are legal in what they do. They usually follow the law to the letter, their law, private law, the law of contract, that you know nothing about. This law is called contract law. It's suggested if you don't understand contract law or realise what law you are dealing with when you go to court, you'll lose. That's in a nutshell, yeah. Even if you have filed your UCC1 and have captured your title, these things don't mean anything to you yet, but when you've learned all about your Strawman, you'll become very familiar with them. Okay, and you have captured your title and your artificial entity. This makes no difference in the above courts. Why? They operate in total fiction in the land of Oz. They can only recognise contracts, and you are a real, remember this word, sentient being. However, you still have numerous adhesion contracts attached to you. In the future you won't. Whatever you file in that court, whether it is your UCC1 or law from the judicial and original jurisdiction side, that is real, lawful truth. They don't recognise truth of any sort. They only recognise fiction and contract law. So when you go into any court, be aware that it is their law and that the judge or the prosecutor can construe and construct that law in any fashion they choose. And also, yeah, I like this. It always means that they choose. It always means what they choose it to mean. Yeah. Yeah, right. So, are the courts bound by the Constitution, law or statutes? No. Contracts only, and the statutes used to enforce the contracts. When used in conjunction with one's signature, a stamp stating without prejudice UCC 1207 is sufficient to indicate to the magistrate of any of our present legislative tribunals, called courts, that the signer of the document has reserved his common law right. He is not to be bound to the statute or commercial obligation of any commercial agreement, and that he did not enter knowingly, voluntarily and intentionally, as would be the case in any common law contract. Okay, I'm going to skip a few, this next paragraph, because we need to get to the nitty-gritty of me and my shadow, aka the straw man. Okay. That's what this next part's called. Me and my shadow, the fictional straw man. Okay, here we go. The elected and appointed administrators of government, United States government, have been filing certified copies of all of our birth certificates. I'm Australian. It's happening in Australia too. It's the Western nations. Okay, so what have they been doing? They've been filing certified copy of all of our birth certificates in the United States Department of Commerce as registered securities. This is the interesting part. These securities, each of which carries an estimated $1 million value, have been and still are circulated around the world as collateral for loans, entries on the asset side of ledgers, etc., just like any other security. There's just one problem. We didn't consciously authorise it. When they say that $1 million, it's for each, bottom line, birth certificate. Okay, each one of us has had $1 million value placed in a ledger that's being used and traded around the world to grow and profit. And at the end of the day, it's there to prepay our lives. It's a prepayment. We'll get to that later. Okay. All right, we didn't authorise it. So now that we know, we can choose to let them use us for collateral and pay interest on the debt, or we can take back our power and sovereignty. All right, the United States is a District of Columbia corporation. You thought it was a country? You're wrong. It's a corporation. In Volume 20, Corpus Juris Section 1785, we find the United States government is a foreign corporation with respect to a state. There's all kinds of letters and numbers after that. Since a corporation is a fictitious person, that is, it cannot speak, see, touch, smell, etc., it cannot by itself function in the real world. A lot of people have been saying that about the United States for a long, long time. Okay. It needs a conduit, a transmitting utility, a liaison of some sort to connect the fictitious person and the fictional world in which it exists to the real world. Why is this important? Okay. Living people, that means you and me, exist in a real world, not a fictional, virtual world. But government exists in a fictional world and can only deal directly with other fictional or virtual persons, agencies, states, etc. In order for a fictional person to deal with real people, there must be a connection, a liaison, a go-between. This can be something as simple as a contract. When both persons, the real and fictional, agree to the terms of a contract, there is a connection, intercourse, dealings. There is communication and exchange. There is business. Okay. But there is another way for fictional government to deal with the real man and woman, through the use of a representative, a liaison, a go-between. Who is this go-between that connects fictional government to real men and women? It's a government-created shadow, a fictional man or woman, a corporation with the same name as yours. This person, I love this. Anyway, this person was created by using your birth certificate as the manufacturer's certificate of origin. That's an MCO, all caps. And the state in which you were born as the port of entry. How does it feel like to be a ship in the night? Okay. This gave fictional United States, all caps, government a fictional person, all caps, with whom to deal with directly. This person, all caps, is a straw man, all caps. Okay, let's go to a dictionary and we look at the Strawman Homo, that's Latin. Okay. Strawman Homo. Right. Straw man in Latin. Okay. Man of straw, one of no substance, put forward as bail or surety. This definition comes from Black's Law Dictionary, 6th edition, page 1421. Following the definition of Strawman Homo in Black's, we find the word straw man. Okay, here we go, straw man. This is in blueprint. Affront. A third party who is put up in name only to take part in a transaction. Nominal party to a transaction. One who acts as an agent for another for the purpose of taking title to real property and executing whatever documents and instruments principal may direct. Okay. We're going to get to the other definition of straw man in the next video.